Mhm, mhm.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the Sports Bet Daily. I'm your host today, Alex, because I'm filling in for our dear host, Natalie, who is on vacation. And of course, she will return next Monday. We wish her to enjoy her short vacation. And we are waiting for her next Monday because she is the best presenter host in the industry. As always, it's Tuesday and we have Russ to talk a bit darts. Is the last week of the regular season. The top four players in the standings will qualify for the playoffs. So we have some interesting matches going on this week on Thursday. So I will let Russ to talk a little bit about his top tips for this week 16 matches, starting with Price versus Wright, and he will go on with some of them. And if I have any questions in the meantime, I will ask him. Please, Russ, welcome to the show.
Alex, thank you for that superb welcome. Yes, it's week 16 of the Premier League of Darts. This is the final week of the so-called regular season before we go to the finals night at London's O2, where top of the league will play fourth, second will play third in the semi, and then after that we go to the final. Alex, you're absolutely right. First up is Gerwyn Price against Peter Wright. Peter Wright, he can't buy a win. He's lost, I think, 7 or 8 on a row. He's won 2 out of 15. But you can get Gerwyn Price at 2.3. For me, that is absolute value. Gerwyn Price knows a win, and he pushes big pressure on Sulovic and Gurney, who are also fighting to get in the top 4. Gerwyn Price himself, he's not in amazing form, but he's not in terrible form. Again, he drew last week 7-all. The week before, he won. So he's in pretty good nick. And he knows that if he concentrates, which I think he will do, he wins. And at 2.3, good value. I think that should be probably 1.9.
I'm not watching many games, but I'm watching from time to time when soccer is not on, football for us in Europe. Tennis is not on. I like the sport, and since you started with us to write articles and to appear in this Sportsbet Daily show videos, I'm telling you in some matches you had some great weeks. You got some decent weeks. What are you expecting for this week? To lower our stakes because it's the last week of the regular season, to go the same with one unit for every match, because this Peter Wright guy is on a losing streak, and the price on Price is very good, very good. I want to go one unit for it. What do you advise here?
Look, I think one unit is the least you should do on this. Start the night with a bang, two units. Next up is Michael Smith, who again is eliminated. He's got nothing to play for. He faces Daryl Gurney, and similar to the previous match, Daryl Gurney knows a win and he could well be in. And he's playing quite well. Michael Smith, not so great. He's had a couple of draws of late, but he's not winning and he's eliminated. That may mean the pressure is off. So that pick on Gurney to win would probably be one unit, because Michael Smith could absolutely get a draw if Daryl Gurney lets the pressure get to him. But I still think, odds of 2.0, Gurney should well come through this. The other unit I'm playing is the draw between Rob Cross and James Wyatt. This is the final match of the night. Before this match happens, Rob Cross will know if he wins, he is in. He is top of the league and he plays fourth. James Wade will also know a win and he's in, or James Wade may not need to win. So prior to this going live, I picked the draw because the guy may just play for a draw because it doesn't mean anything. And the draw price, I think at 4.75 is, again, value. I'd have that a lot less now, because if no one needs to play, they'll just play out probably a fun game knowing they're both going to be in the finals the following week. The other match is Michael van Gerwen against Sulovic. I've left that one alone purely because I think van Gerwen will win. Van Gerwen wants to finish top. He wants to finish number one. And I think he probably will get the job done over Sulovic. And then it's all up to Rob Cross whether he can get the job done and take the number one spot.
I was watching some darts today on YouTube. While I was doing my research, and I know that Mensur Suljovic is the Champions League winner in 2017, so 2 years ago, with a double 14 at the end, with a dart at the double 14, his favorite double there. So you want to check this sport out because it's a lot of fun, and most of the time I'm following it during the Christmas season, during the New Year season. I think that is the most important period in darts. But you are looking smart and always with a smile on your face. Adam on the chat is saying that capper by day, killer by night. You are dressed there to kill someone, or where you at right now?
I'm at the Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club end of season Player of the Year Awards. I do some work with Wolves and I've been invited on one of the tables. So I've just cut out and I'm just about to go in for some dinner and see who wins the award. So it should be, I've got a good night in store. But again, I wanted to let everyone know my darts tips and obviously insight ahead of week 16, because again, I'm passionate about the darts and again, giving some good winners.
Okay, just before you go, so we have Rob Cross number 1, Van Gerwen number 2, James Wade number 3, and Suljovic number 4. Do you think that the 4 people, the 4 players will qualify in the semis? So you think that those will be the players who will qualify in the semis? Because we have also Gurney, we have also Price with 1 win away from qualifying in the semifinals there.
I think Rob Cross, Van Gerwen, Wade, 100%. Sulovic, he's the one big under pressure. He plays number 1. He plays Michael van Gerwen. So if Van Gerwen wins, that means that Gurney or Price will take that slot. I think Price is very, very strong on the win, as I mentioned, against Peter Wright. Gurney against Smith. Gurney, I fancy, not as stronger as Price. So, you know what? It could come down to points difference. And Sulovic, Price and Gurney could all be on the same point. So, again, that would be interesting.
So now that we already know 2 semifinalists, Rob Cross and Van Gerwen, do you think that one of them will lift the Premier League title this season?
100% yes, without any question. I don't think any player outside of those 2 will raise their game in the semi-final and the final. I think in week 8 I tipped up Rob Cross as the alternative to Michael van Gerwen. Again, I think you can still get 4-1 on Rob Cross. For me, he wins his semi-final, and then he won't be 4-1 against Van Gerwen, so you can probably lay it off.
So do you see a final between Cross and Van Gerwen, right?
Yes.
And the semi-finals are happening next week, right?
Yeah, next week at the O2. And keep your fingers crossed, viewers. There's a strong chance that I'll be in the arena at the O2 to watch it live and hopefully give a live preview.
Oh, that's amazing. So the semi-finals next week with Russ being at the O2 Arena, maybe, but I think that he will make it. When he says maybe, it's for sure. So see you, Russ, next week at the O2 Arena. Thanks for sharing your knowledge.
Brilliant. Thank you,
Alex. Darts, and have a great night there. Enjoy a special night for the club, and we will see you next week.
Top man. Enjoy the show. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So next we have Chef Michael, who is on already. We are talking a little bit Champions League and Europa League finals. Early look, some odds, some tips, a little bit of a chat about how it was the season for the 4 clubs. For the first time in the football history, 4 English teams are qualified in both finals, Champions League and Europa League. For the first time in the in Europa League, the two finalists are from the same town, London, Chelsea and Arsenal. It happened to be from the same country 10 times, I think, till now. But just this is the first time when the two teams are coming from the same city of London. And believe it or not, the final will not happen in London. It will happen in Baku, Azerbaijan. But let's start with the Champions League. Hi, Michael. Nice to have you with me here. What do you think about this Champions League final? Did you expect the two teams to qualify or not?
No, I had Ajax to qualify past Tottenham, and I didn't see that miraculous comeback from Tottenham as much as the Liverpool comeback. But I think it's going to be a good one. I think Liverpool can get past them, but I think it's going to be a good one.
Tottenham, Liverpool at 2.0, Tottenham at 4.1, the best odds on the market. So Tottenham, the underdogs. Obviously, Harry Kane will finally be fit for the final. So they will enjoy him, maybe to score some goals or not. But definitely he will be a big plus for Tottenham. Anyway, I don't think that Tottenham missed Harry Kane till now. They had Son, who delivered in every single game. They had Dele Alli. They had Lucas Moura in the last game with the brilliant match against Ajax with the last second goal. So do you think that is wise for Pochettino to start with Harry Kane the final against Liverpool?
No, I think that's an insult to Lucas Moura and Son. I mean, both of those guys are the reason why Tottenham's in this position. I mean, if not for that Son away goal against City, I think we're breaking down a City and Liverpool championship right now. And Lucas Moura's hat trick is another reason why Tottenham's in this situation. And Harry Kane, I mean, he's been out of competition for over a month now since, you know, I mean, he's going to be probably around, 75-80%. He can't be 100% because he hasn't seen any gameplay in over a month. So, I mean, for him to come back and think that he's just going to, you know, make a huge difference against this Liverpool team, I think it's kind of ridiculous. And I think it's an insult to Son and Moura, to whoever Pochettino would decide to sit to start Harry Kane.
Absolutely. We have also the anytime goal scorer market, starting with Mohamed Salah, 2.63, Sadio Mane, 2.7, and what we were talking about, Harry Kane at 2.8. I think that we should pass that. After that, we have Divock Origi at 2.88, Sturridge at 3.1, Firmino at 3.3, and finally, good value also for Son at 3.6. But the question is here, do you see a high scoring affair? Because Liverpool are brilliant at the back. Virgil van Dijk named player of the year in the Premier League. Salah and Mane, the Golden Boot, both of them top scorers in Premier League. Do you think that we might see a high-scoring affair between these two teams?
Yeah, I think Liverpool will get us over 2.5 by themselves. I mean, Tottenham's obviously going to have to come forward because they know Liverpool's going to score, and that's going to open up Tottenham dangerous in the back. I mean, like you just said, Virgil van Dijk anchors that back line, and Andy Robertson's probably one of the best left backs in the world, if not the best. So I think Liverpool's going to get us over that 2.5 by themselves. They beat Tottenham 2-1 both times this past season, and both they were winning by halftime. So I at least see two or three goals from Liverpool by themselves.
Yeah, indeed. But they are playing in a neutral venue in Wanda Metropolitano in Atletico Madrid Stadium in Spain. So I don't think that the head-to-heads should be taken in consideration here, because the fans will be half-half. on the stadium because they are given tickets also to the Liverpool fans and also to the Tottenham fans. So I don't think that the head-to-heads from the Premier League should count as much in this last match. After all, it's a final. Liverpool are going, yes, with the first chance just because, in my opinion, they are the better side. They are the best force right now if you take them as a team in Europe. This is, in my opinion. Yes, I'm a fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, and I hate to see them losing the title by 1 point in the Premier League at their best, at one of their best seasons in their history. So last year they were in the final. Unfortunately, they lost to Real Madrid. This year, hopefully for them and hopefully for their fans, I'm not saying that Tottenham might not win this because the luck they had in their previous matches, they might bring it on once again, but you never know. It's a final. So we already know the referee from the final, and believe it or not, Damir Skomina, the Slovenian who was the referee of the match Manchester United versus Paris Saint-Germain, who influenced that game by giving the last penalty to Manchester United for PSG to be knocked out of the competition. Also, interesting fact that Damir Skomina was in charge of 7 European matches this season, 5 in Champions League and 2 in Europa League, without giving a red card. Do you think that we will see many yellow cards in this match, or maybe a red card, or penalties? What do you believe in the? Do you believe that the special bets, corners, stuff like that, penalties, yellow cards? I know that we are not playing them week in and week out, but most of the people who are betting on these finals, either is the Europa League, Champions League, or World Cup final, or the big matches, are looking at every single market that they can bet on.
No, I don't think we're going to see very many yellow cards, and definitely not a red card. I wouldn't think. I mean, Liverpool's a very organized team, and I'm sure Pochettino is going to have Tottenham very organized and well prepared. I don't see too many yellow cards. And corners, I like to play corners live. You know, you got to see the game pace and how both teams are coming out in the first maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll play. You know, sometimes usually the corners are set at 4.5 before the game for the first half, and I'll usually look to bet either side of that depending on the pace of the game. I could easily see this being an overs for the corners. I mean, both sides are going to be attacking a lot, so I would look to play overs live on the corner market.
Okay, team news, a little bit of team news. Andy Robertson should be fit, and Liverpool should also feature Firmino. Bobby Firmino, who I think that he will be 100% fit. So we'll have the trio in attack: Salah, Firmino, and Mane. So the deadly attacking trio from the Liverpool side. And on the other side, everybody, but not us, believe that Harry Kane will start the match. As you said, it will be a shame for other players not to be on the bench, and Kane, who is not 100% fit, to feature in such an important final. You have an early bet for this match?
I looked at Liverpool straight win last week when it opened at 2.0, and this morning when I checked it, it dropped to 1.95. Might still take that, or -1 at 2.8 is a good look, and maybe to stick something in an acre filler in a couple of weeks. Liverpool lift the trophy at 1.55. You know, stick that somewhere in ACA.
Yeah, I think that this final will be decided in the regular time in 90 minutes. So I'm taking Liverpool. Shop around for your odds. 2.05 with Unibet, with Betfred, with 888 Sports and 1.95 with Betfair, Bet365, Sky Bet, Ladbrokes, William Hill. So yeah, not a huge difference, but from 1.95 to 2.05, if you're putting a lot of money, that should count. Going
I like
to
Firmino.
the
I like
Europa
Firmino to
League.
score too.
Firmino to score at I said it earlier.
3.8.
It's at Bobby Firmino at 3.3, the best odds on the market right now with Sky Bets, Unibet, BetVictor, and Betway. So yeah, Bobby Firmino is an interesting one, and also I like Son at 3.6. I think that the odds are decent also on him. Going for the Europa League final early preview. As I said, the first time in the history that the two finalists are from the same city in this competition, Arsenal and Chelsea. Unai Emery, Arsenal's coach, one of the specialists of the competition, won this competition 3 times in a row when he was coaching Sevilla, the top, the Spanish top flight league side. On the other side, Sarri, without any important title in his career, important trophy. So it's the first time when he's qualified, he has a chance to win a trophy, but he has some players who have huge experience in this competition. Cesar Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Eden Hazard, and Gary Cahill lifted the Europa League trophy back in 2013. What do you think about this match?
I try not to think about Arsenal too much lately. They're just the tale of two teams, I guess you can say. I mean, you got the Europa Arsenal and the Premier League Arsenal, and the Premier League Arsenal is just garbage, and the Europa League Arsenal is fantastic. I mean, you give Emery a couple weeks and you can pretty much beat any team in Europe. I mean, wiped out Napoli, clean sheet over 2 legs, but he manages a draw against Brighton and can't get past Crystal Palace for some reason. So, you know, I'm not sure where to go with this Arsenal team. I know, you know, I think they're the more desperate of the two teams to win this championship, but Chelsea, they want to get the trophy also for not getting any hardware, any other cup. So this one was a hard one to break down.
Yeah, now the question is Aubameyang and Lacazette, for example, who scored the last 8 goals, European goals for Arsenal, 4 and 4. On the other side, we have the top scorer of the competition, Olivier Giroud, with 10 goals. I think that we should expect goals in this one. I think that both teams are brilliant going forward. I think that we will see Chelsea dominating the possession. I think that Arsenal, if they play Lacazette and Aubameyang, they will have a lot of chances to score. I think that this is the correct play. Both teams to score is priced now at 1.75, and over 2.5 goals in the match is priced at 2.0 with some bookies. Do you fancy goals, or do you think that it will be a close affair?
No, that's exactly where I was going. Over 2.5 at even. I see many goals, and even both teams scoring over 2.5 is 2.25. I found. Obviously, Arsenal can't play much defense, and I don't see too much defense being played by either one of these sides. So over is exactly where I was going.
Obviously, Eden Hazard, I think that this is his last match for Chelsea. He will leave the club after the Europa League final to Real Madrid in a deal worth 100 million euros. Absolutely amazing for a player who has only 1 year of his contract before expiring, is sold with 100 million. Of course, he's a world-class player. Do you think that he will have a top-class performance for his last time with Chelsea, or do you think that his brain will be, okay, this is the last match, I'm going to Real Madrid, can't wait to go there? But it's a final after all. A trophy always counts in the CV of a player, isn't that right?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. But you look at his body language after the last match, and he, walking off of Stamford Bridge, and it kind of looked like he was just already in Madrid. He looked like he was already gone. I mean, he walked off and didn't really show too much emotion. And I think, of course, he wants to leave with a trophy. But if he doesn't really fancy walking out of Stamford Bridge with his head held high, I mean, I don't really see him giving too much, emotion, trying to put too much effort. I know he's going to put in a lot of effort. I shouldn't say that, but it's hard to tell where his mind is at. I mean, he could already be gone. I mean, who knows? I don't really know what this guy is thinking, but to me, when I watched him the other day, it didn't look like he really wanted to deal too much with anything else left with Chelsea.
To be honest, I hated his performance against Eintracht Frankfurt in the second leg of the semifinals. I think that he was very poor. Yes, he scored the last goal from the penalty kickoff, from the penalty spot in the penalty shootout, but his performance in the 120 minutes of the game was very, very poor in my opinion. Maybe he will bring it on because it's a final. He is priced. He's the favorite to be anytime goal scorer with the bookies. He is priced at 2.63 with some bookies, 2.9 with other bookies. After that, we have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at 2.7. Gonzalo Higuain, whom I believe he will be on the bench because Olivier Giroud will be given the credit after a brilliant season on Europa League. So Higuain at 3.1, Giroud at 3.2, Lacazette at 3.1, and after that Pedro, Willian, and Mkhitaryan, and so on. They also have odds for Aaron Ramsey, but Aaron Ramsey unfortunately is ruled out with a tight injury amongst the players who will miss this final. Hector Bellerin, Rob Holding, Danny Welbeck, and Denis Suarez from Arsenal, and Antonio Rudiger, CHO, Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea. But they have Olivier Giroud, who might save the day. So what's your favorite bet for this Europa League clash against the two London sides? A great derby, but in a neutral venue in Baku, Azerbaijan, very, very far from home.
Yeah, and it's so far from home, and they only allocated 6,000 tickets to each fan base, and the rest are just going to be up for sale to get whoever. It's not like the Champions League where they split the stadium in half. So that's kind of an odd thing. I think touching on that a little bit, UEFA should have some sort of backup plan to where if something like this happens, they should be able to move it. I mean, they should have a buyout clause for Azerbaijan to give them still a little bit of the cut and move this closer to home so these two sides can have their fans there. But I would, in the goal scorers market, I would have to look towards Lacazette and Aubameyang, and probably on Chelsea's side, I would have to look to Pedro to score. I think he'll have plenty of opportunities. I think Hazard will see quite a bit of defenders around him. As far as goal scorers, those are probably my three favorite.
So that's your favorite play, over 2.5 goals in the match, and both teams to score at 2.4, you said, right?
Oh, yeah, straight bets, yeah, for sure. Over 2.5, and both teams scoring over 2.5. And I'm not sure who I would bet to lift the trophy. Arsenal right now is 2.25. I mean, I think they want it more. I think they might show a little more excitement to try to get this. So I might look to Arsenal to lift the trophy at 2.25. If it gets a little better of a price, I might take that.
Okay. Also on the winners market, Chelsea are favorites at 2.4, Arsenal at 3.3. I don't know. This match might go also in overtime, in extra time, also on penalties. That's why I will skip the winners market totally, and I will go 2 units on both teams to score at 1.75 and 1 unit on over 2.5 goals in the match. But Michael is combining them for better odds at 2.4. That's about it with Chef Michael. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. Thank you for coming on the show, and see you before the final of Europa League to preview it, to go more in depth, and to give some extra value for our friends to bet on with few days before the match. Thank you for joining. And now we are bringing one of our old friends in the business, Adam, one of my very good friends. I know him for the last 1 year and something. We started talking esports. I don't know anything about esports, but he's a huge specialist and a great expert in NHL. Now we have the NHL playoffs, round 3, and we will break them down with Adam in a couple of minutes. Rafa is calling him right now, and he will join us to deliver his best picks for the 2 conference semifinals, the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. I think that he wrote an article at the beginning of the season, the NFL playoffs outright, giving San Jose Sharks and San Luis Blues together at 7.0 and at 8.0 respectively, winners of their conferences. And now that one of the 2 bets will win, because both Sharks and Blues are head-to-head in their specific conference. So now we will cheer for Blues, because the odds are higher. Rafa needs to end my call before calling us back and continuing with Adam. Sorry about that. Okay, we are live back with Adam. Very nice hair, Adam. You need a haircut. It's okay. It's okay. We are live on the show. You don't have to do it to look too smart. You are smart anyways. You are muted, by the way. Press. I don't know if it's from us or from you, but we cannot hear you. Please say something. No, we cannot hear you. Rafa, do something, because we cannot hear Adam. Hopefully we will hear him soon, because I don't know shit about NHL, and he is the person who has to to give me some good tips on this playoffs series round 3. Adam, we still cannot hear you, but we can see you. That's a good sign. Next time we will make sure that we can see you and hear you in the same time. But you killed, I said to our friends earlier that you killed with the outright bets of... Now we hear you. Ooh.
Oh.
And we are live. Tech problems, always always bad when you have tech problems, but we are live now. So I was mentioning the San Jose Sharks and St. Louis Blues, and you gave them as winners of their conference at 7 and 8 respectively. Now they are 1-1 into their semifinals. So we don't expect we expect one of the bets to be a winner, so I'm cheering for the Blues at 8.0. What do you say about that head-to-head?
All right, so the Eastern Conference bets did not go so great. I had Tampa Bay, which of course we covered, got knocked out in the first round, big upset. So that one went down. Then I had a small play on the Islanders to also win the East. That went down in the second round. But in the West, we hit both of them, and because of the lines, the prices we got, we're going to be in profit no matter what, no matter who wins this series on all of our outright props. And so that's great. And the article with the preview for this series between the Sharks and Blues, I was, I don't want to say surprised. I guess the Blues should be a small underdog, but I thought they were a bigger underdog than they should have been. So I also took them for the series. Then as far as match plays, individual game plays go, I've already cashed on 3 of the 4 series. I like to run progressions, so that's a team to win 1 game. So I've bet the Bruins, the Sharks, and the Blues already. Tonight I'm going to be starting with the Carolina Hurricanes. Going back to your question, yeah, I'm looking at the Blues to take the series. But
he always does that. He always does that. We start with one question and he finishes saying about what will happen in 2 years from now.
It's true. I could talk quite a bit about hockey and esports, but thanks for bringing me back. Anyways, what's on the agenda?
What's on the agenda? You said it. What's on the agenda? Tonight, Boston plays their first game in Carolina. They are leading right now. They are leading the series 2-0. But they are playing away from home. 2.65. They are the underdogs in this match. 2.35 Carolina Hurricanes. 3.9 the draw. What do you see in this match?
So in the first 2 games in Boston, exactly as I wrote in the article, although I didn't make a play on the series because I didn't like the price of the Bruins on the money line, I did say the Bruins really have the Carolina outmatched in every area of the ice, meaning their forwards are deeper, they're more physical, their power play is more dangerous, their defense are physical as well. They've got the depth on defense. They might not be as mobile of a defensive core, but they definitely have the experience and the physicality to push around the lighter, faster Carolina Hurricanes. In terms of goaltending, Tuukka Rask, he's not the flashiest of goalies, but he has been phenomenal in all 3 series so far. He does more than enough to get the job done. He makes the saves he ought to, and I think that's important. That's all you can really ask. And his defense are willing to block shots and sort of play relentless in their own zone. So it's not easy for Carolina, who came off a sweep against a sort of very soft New York team, and they weren't really tested. Their New York's goal scoring was very, very poor and low. So I think coming against Boston, they've been caught off guard and pushed around's a good word because they have been. Marchand, who's he's an elite player in the league, but he's an agitator. He likes to talk a lot. He likes to have a little stick it's like stick work where he's, hacking a little bit or getting a high stick. He's got under the skin of a few players on the Canes, namely their captain, Justin Williams. And these are all within a 7-game series, you get these storylines and battles where players are constantly head to head, and it carries through. So what happens in game 1, we can see it evolve later on in a series. I don't think this one's going to be a sweep. I mean, that's just the capping perspective. And I took the Carolina Hurricanes as soon as it opened at 1.9, I think. And it's come down to about 1.85, 1.83, I think, most places. Yeah. So I'm on Carolina on an AB progression to win one of these games 3 and 4. If they win tonight, then I'm off for the rest of the Eastern Conference series. I just enjoy it. And but I think Carolina will be a bit more composed, I guess. I think that's been the problem going into the enemy building, and who just came off a game, 6 victory. I think they were just sort of going into the lion's den, or the bear's den, if you want to make a pun. I think they'll have a little bit more to show. I am concerned about their goaltending, but they've never had that all-star goalie. They kind of went between Mrazek and McElhinney all season, and in the playoffs they've had to. But they need their defense to step up a bit. They can't be, first of all, taking undisciplined penalties and putting Boston's power play out there. But they also need to help out their goalies. They need to do more as a 5-man core in their own zone.
Tell me, how is possible, you know that I don't know nothing about hockey. I'm not following hockey. I'm telling you on some plays, but I know that there are a couple of people on each team. Not couple, more than a couple. But anyway, and the goalie and the small net, But I think that it's an
smaller
interesting
than
sport. It's a lot smaller than in football. I can tell you that. How is we've lost you, Rafa? Please. I don't know why we are having this tech issues, but hopefully Adam will come back because I have some interesting questions. I did my research, so I'm on the top scorers chart here with 2 San Jose players leading the top scorer chart, Couture and Burns with 19 goals and 15 goals respectively. I'm trying with points. It's points here. I'm sorry. It's not with the goals. Goals conceded, goals against. Anyway, I have to ask Adam about that because I don't know even how to read the charts. But it's a good thing that we have specialists in every single sport, because I'm going on oddsmarket.com. I'm checking the site. I'm tailing my specialists there. Dave with Jason with the UFC, Adam with esports and NHL. Who else? Joao with his tennis picks. Russ, who was on earlier with his darts picks. Of course, Craig Davids with his snooker and golf tips and many more. But Adam is back, and I was checking the top scorer chart here, Adam. And how is even possible a defender, Brent Burns from San Jose Sharks, to be second in the standings with 15 points? A defender. How is that even possible?
Yeah, so in hockey, the way the defense are able to get involved in offense is usually through 2 ways. They're a good skater, and so they're able to capitalize when the opposing team is maybe making a bad change, or that's usually how it works. Is there's a turnover in the neutral zone, the defense can jump up if they're fast enough and mobile enough to join the play. Most of Brent Burns' points, they still come on the power play, I believe. I think he's got power play points. Yeah, he's got Oh no, he's only got four power play points. So actually, most of his points are 5-on-5, which is phenomenal. So, but they are assists, which means he's not scoring the goals. He's not at the front lines. But Brent Burns is very mobile.
The points. He's winning the points by helping in the defense, right? Or how is it working here?
Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson, the two top defensemen for San Jose, they're known for being good passers, and Brent Burns does have an excellent shot, but they get a lot of power play time as well. So they'll be playing on in hockey. There's 2 power play units, so you'll have a power play for 2 minutes, and you'll probably put your top line out there for 2 shifts for maybe a minute and 20 seconds, and your other line will go out there for 40 seconds. And in that time, Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson might be both of them might be out, or just one of them with 4 forwards. But they kind of look at where the defenseman stands. It's near the blue line. So they kind of act as a quarterback, where they will direct the puck movement from near the blue line. And then they're also responsible for getting the puck to the net for deflections or rebounds, or just shooting it straight in the net. But that's why Brent Burns has that many points, is he gets a lot of power play time, but he's also able to join the rush because he's a good skater.
On my list here, it says that they have assists. Burns has 10 assists, and Karlsson has 13 assists, both defenders, and on the same
San Jose
with
goes
the 11. But the rest, Karlsson and Burns are having a great season in terms of assists, not necessarily in terms of goals. Because Karlsson, for example, has 0 goals so far.
Yeah.
But Burns is a hell of a defender. There's 5 goals and 10 assists. Great for that guy. Anyway, we didn't finish. So we have 2 finals, Eastern and Western. What do you think? Who do you think that will qualify in the final from the 2 semifinals?
So in the East, I do think Boston's going to get out of this one. As I said earlier, I'm hoping it's not a sweep, because I'm going to be betting Carolina over the next 2 games if they don't get a win tonight. But I do think Boston has their number in every area of the ice: offense, defense, and goaltending. So I do think Boston represents the East. In the West, we saw in Game 1, San Jose capitalized on so many turnovers of the Blues. It was very uncharacteristic game by the Blues. They really were sloppy, moving the puck forward. So that was kind of what happened. In Game 2, the Blues played a much, much better game. It was almost a complete game. They had a span in the second period with, again, a couple turnovers. Logan Couture, who's leading the goal scoring, he got 2 goals last night. And while I like San Jose's offensive depth, we definitely saw the sort of sloppiness on their end in Game 2. And again, it's much harder to teach good defense this late into the season. Your offensive weapons can be sharpshooters on the power play, and I have no doubt that San Jose can continue to get their chances. But the Blues were just more efficient in Game 2, and I think Game 2 was more characteristic of when St. Louis is playing their best game, how they can frustrate San Jose. But that said, as I said in the article, I do really think this one goes 6 or 7. But I'm off the series now. I got a win in Game 1 on San Jose. I got a win in Game 2 on St. Louis. Now I can just sit back and hope that they give an entertaining series. I'll put it that way. And then if St. Louis comes and meets Boston in the final, well, actually, I'm not even going to get into that. We might as well cover that in a future show, because there'll be so much to break down.
Give me a winner before I will let you go. Give me a winner.
Okay, if it's St. Louis versus Boston, I think it's St. Louis. I really do. And I think they'll be an underdog too. And
Okay,
if it's
I'm
San
going
Jose,
against you. I'm
if
going
it's San
with the
Jose,
Bruins.
Boston. If it's San Jose, Boston, I go Boston.
Okay, I'm going with Boston in this one all the way. I don't know anything, but maybe the odds. I don't know. What are the odds for Boston to win it now, for
Win
example?
the cup, it's pretty low, I think. Let's see.
Actually, they are the
Future, I got
favorites,
it
right?
right here.
To win the Stanley Cup.
Well, I did have it right here.
Because
And
I
my
will
computer's just.
have a
Oh, here we
small
go.
bet on them.
Okay. Oh no, it's not coming up. Oh, here it is. To win outright, Boston is 2.0 at Bet365 right now. I don't like that. That is not a good price. They're 2-0 up in a series from 2 games at home. I mean, I don't think Carolina will come back to win the series, but that suggests that Boston would be a heavy favorite against St. Louis or San Jose, which whoever comes out of that could definitely take Boston down. So don't move on Boston right now. If anything, move on either the Sharks or the Blues right now to win the cup. But
okay,
I'm gonna wait and assess.
Okay, we talked because we have a few minutes till the end of the show, so we can talk about some other subject. Let me ask you something. No, not esports. Esports we're doing on Friday about the esports we're talking. Let's talk a little bit about the Game of Thrones. You wrote an article 1 month before, 2 months before the season 8, the last season. Everybody is disappointed about the last season. I watched yesterday the last episode of the season. I watched Daenerys going crazy, killing everyone with her dragon. On 40 minutes of the last episode, she was Dracarys on all the city.
Dracarys,
she was
everybody.
Dracarys. Yeah, she was Dracarys the city. You know. Crazy. I don't know. I think that is the worst season of the series till now. What do you think about it?
So, episode 5, sorry, was actually my favorite episode so far because I had already thrown in the towel. I was already so upset about the season. You know, I don't watch a lot of TV. I really don't. I started watching this season or this series. You know, back
because you wrote an article.
What's that?
Because you had to write an article on it.
Yeah, no, I read all the books actually. So I've been a fan. My dad had the books. He's had the books for 15 years or something. So he introduced me to it in 2011. And when the first season came out, then I read all the books while I was traveling in Australia and Asia. And then so then I've been watching the show, and 7 seems so hype, and they come to 8, and the writing has just been shit. I got to be honest. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon, but as somebody who was such a fan of the world that George R.R. Martin created, seeing the way it's gone has just been disappointing.
And the mistakes also, and the mistakes, the Starbucks cups from episode 4, the hand of Jamie. Who was supposed to not have the second hand, the hand appearing in the last sequence when they died with his sister.
I know.
I don't know. Very huge mistakes.
Sloppy.
For how much they had 2
years. They had 2 years to do the season.
invested in this one.
Yeah, they had 2 years to do this final season. You know, I see the point for me, the bigger point is the bad writing. That's what I mean. Those little sort of production issues that shouldn't happen, that sucks, and it'll kind of be quirky and take away from the show. But the one that is the disaster for me is the poor writing. I liked the most recent episode. I won't give any spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. Won't get into it, but overall, the season, I mean, I went back over some of the props last week about who lives and who dies, and there's a few winners, there's a few losers, but it hasn't played. I mean, I did say in the article, you know, most likely nobody sits on the Iron Throne, and Daenerys will sort of the dragons will burn everything, and that's sort of the way it's gone. But I thought it would at least be interesting to watch it, and just seeing the drama between Sansa and Daenerys, and the gossip, and Tyrion and Jaime's storyline of they want to come save Cersei. Like, why do they want to save Cersei? She's the sister who she's not just sort of been bad to them, she's tried to actively kill them. So I don't get it. I think it was poor writing. Even the scene, last rant, even the scene where the second dragon gets killed, and Daenerys sort of goes and looks at the ships, and then she flies away, and then in the next episode, not one arrow hits the dragon, and she kills every single weapon. It was just it's crap. The season's crap. But that said, I will watch the finale because
I loved the final scene of the last episode when a white horse appeared from nowhere. When after they destroyed all the city, everyone died, and the white horse appears. Arya saves the day, jumps on the white horse, and finally gets off the city. Yeah, unbelievable. Everybody was waiting for something else.
One thing I was going to say, I saw yesterday, Bet Online, I think it was Bet Online, they had some props for how Daenerys dies in the final episode. I mean, you can bet on her not to die, but one theory that came out, if you guys want to jump on it this week, was that Varys, the eunuch who was killed at the beginning of the last episode, he's been poisoning her. So you can bet on her to die via poison at, I think it was 20-1. I think that was the price, or 21-1. So I like that. I like that price. If that theory comes true, I do think she will die in the finale. But honestly, I kind of just, when I was watching with my girlfriend yesterday, we were just having a laugh because it was like our expectations were so low for the season now.
This is what I was watching it with my wife, and we went to a wedding in Austria, and we couldn't come on, let's hurry home because the last episode is on HBO. Let's do it. And we started last night after putting our daughter to sleep. We started to watch the last episode. Unbelievable. Anyway, I will make a bet that my wife says it will not happen like that, but me, I believe that Jon will kill Daenerys. I hope that they will give me some odds for that.
Oh wow, that would be crazy.
And also we have Eurovision.
That would be him killing his auntie.
Going on this week. And we have some friends giving some bets on Twitter. I already saw some crazy lines going on. Like always, Romania is priced at 251, 301 right now to win. Netherlands are huge favorites, 3.25, followed by Sweden, 6.5. Australia, who I don't understand what they are doing in Eurovision, but they are here for the last 3 years. 6.5, Russia at 9, and France at 11.
Actually, Alex, I was going to say our friend Sneeze on Twitter, he posted some Eurovision semifinal picks, and I'm sure he won't mind if I give them out if he hasn't tweeted them already. He had Estonia to qualify at 1.8, Greece to win at 2.5, and Portugal not to qualify at 1.65 unit play.
Okay, that's it for today. You heard Game of Thrones, Eurovision, NHL, Champions League. Nothing to do with one another, but this is why we love the show, because it has everything. Champions League, Europa League, and our first guest looking smart as always, Russ, delivering with some dark picks. See you. No, actually not see. I will not see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, our brilliant Flash Gordon Watson is hosting the show, and Dave Betts and Martin Green will talk some Premier League and Championship past season recap and early preseason outrights, followed by Craig Edwards, our lovely Craig Edwards, previewing the PGA Championship golf in New York, and talking also a little bit about the World Championship recap of snooker and look ahead what should we wait for the next season, and spread us there talking about the NBA playoffs. So see you. So Flash. You have to watch Flash tomorrow because it will be very interesting. I will be back on Thursday with the Best Bet Show, followed on Friday with the final episode hosted by me this week from the Sports Bet Daily, because Monday, Natalie will be back, finally. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you, Adam, for joining me, and see you on Friday talking about esports CSGO DreamHack Tours. Bye-bye.
See ya.